153 Palestinian travelers have been allowed into South Africa after being initially denied entry at Johannesburg's Tambo International Airport. The group who arrived on a chartered flight from Kenya were held at the airport due to incomplete documentation. But after intervention from the charity Gift of the Givers, they were admitted into the country. The travelers are eligible for 90-day visa-exempt travel and will be cared for by Gift of the Givers. The Border Management Authority says it will continue to uphold South Africa's legal and regulatory frameworks. And for more, we are joined by Africa for Palestine Communications and Campaigns Manager, Alie Komape. Alie, good afternoon and thank you for joining us on Africa Update.
Good afternoon, Lulu, and good afternoon to your listeners, and thanks for having us.
Now, Alie, just take us through what may have gone wrong in the communication between Global Airways and South African authorities leading to this initial denial of entry for the 153 passengers, despite allegedly meeting immigration requirements.
The first thing, Lulu, is that Palestinians are living a genocide, it's not even like a war zone. They're escaping a place where they're being killed in their thousands. Now, that creates an agency on their part. So when they do speak to other countries, countries have laws, have regulations, and so on. We've seen this happening in Rwanda, in the Rwanda genocide, when many Rwandans were flocking into Uganda, into DRC, and so on. We've seen it with the collapse of the economy of Zimbabwe. We've seen it with the war in the DRC, where Congolese nationals came to South Africa in their thousands. It happens, and it's not out of the ordinary. But in this particular instance, what the South African authorities have told us is that this airline has been doing shady work, in essence. They've not been declaring passengers who are on the flight. They've not been complying with travel laws of border entry, and that was the problem. Therefore, the South African authorities had to take time in looking into vetting these Palestinians who are coming in, checking if they have documents and so on. For instance, some of the Palestinians who came in have nothing but clothes on their backs. They've got no documentation. They've got absolutely nothing. So the South African authorities had to take time to process them. So I think even we must get the wording right, Lulu. They were not denied entry. They were not told to go back to their homes. No, the South African authorities said, you're here, let's then take time to process you into the country. And that's what happened.
So basically it was a delayed entry for proper processes to be followed. Now, with the immigration, South Africa's immigrations, do you think that now that they have been, they were able to be a little flexible, as you're highlighting, that some people had just literally the clothes on their backs? What do you think? The big question is, who chartered this airline?
I think those are the right questions to ask. The European Union has done some investigation into this. It seems there is a covert operation by the Israeli regime to depopularize Gaza. They are doing this covertly in taking Palestinians out of Gaza and taking them to other countries across the world, covertly. For instance, the African authorities said we didn't know that these are Palestinian refugees coming to us. In fact, the South African authorities saying, why do you then take them to Kenya, then reroute them to South Africa, make it look like the origin of these refugees are from Kenya, when in fact they are from Palestine? The information is not given hands for the South African authorities that say, we have Palestinians that are coming to you. The embassy of Palestine in the country has said, we have no idea as well that this is happening. But of course, this, like I said, this is not an ordinary situation. People are fleeing a genocide. So we don't know the origin of this plane. But what we do know from the preliminary examination done investigation done in Europe is that there is a covert operation in Gaza done by the Israelis to depopularize Gaza. Of course, this is not a surprise to many of us internationally. Israel has said many times they want to wipe Palestinians in Gaza off the map. Failure to do that, they want to ship them out to other countries. They've proposed to ship Palestinians out to Egypt. They've proposed to ship them out to Lebanon. They've proposed to take Palestinians to other neighboring countries in the Middle East. So that's their plan, and that's what they're doing. So even in us, dealing with the issue of refugees of Palestinians, which is correct, which we must do, we must not then ignore the fact that international law is being broken by Israel by forcibly taking people off their land and bringing them somewhere else.
And just the timing of this, listening to Imtiaz Suleiman speaking of the fact that the timing of this is very interesting, because it's literally a few days before the G20 summit that is to take place here in South Africa next weekend. This is very interesting. It's very
peculiar. And I mean, this is just a preliminary investigation that has showed this is the COVID operation. In fact, Lulu, we know for a fact that Gaza is an open-air prison. Palestinians were slaughtered and they were refused to leave Gaza through land, air, or sea. Palestinians in Gaza are bussed out to go to Israel. Then in Israel, they're given a flight out to Kenya. Then the flight in Kenya is being rerouted to South Africa. It's very peculiar. If South Africa can take Palestinians who are willing to come to South Africa for refugee status, wonderful, great. We've done it with Zimbabweans, we've done it with Congolese, we've done it with Rwandans. We are that country that takes in refugees. There's no problem with that. Now, but like I said, we cannot ignore the background noise that comes with it. These ulterior motives. Why all of a sudden are Palestinians allowed to leave Gaza? Why are they chaperoned by the Israeli regime? Why are chartered flights being organized covertly? It is peculiar, but that must not overshadow the fact that Palestinians that seek refuge have a home in South Africa. Yeah. And the South African authorities, even ourselves as citizens of this country, have said, great. Bring them here. Yesterday at Tambo, you had many South Africans carrying diapers, food, formula for them, medicine. And because Palestinians are part of our identity as a nation that fought against apartheid.
Yeah. Well, Alie, it's been a pleasure. We'll leave it there for today. That's Africa for Palestine Communications and Campaigns Manager Alie Komape ending that discussion.
Global leaders, African insights. Follow the G20 summit with Channel Africa as it happens.